I got my first trading payout last year in November, pretty much a year ago from today. I'm 19 years old now, and I was 18 years old at the time. If you clicked on this video, you're most likely on track or trying to get your first payout from day trading, and I'm here to tell you what happened to me and how you can speed up your process as well. First, let me show you the payouts I've gotten in the last year, my first year of profitability. So this right here was my first ever payout. It was $1,500 approved on November 3rd of 2023. A little over a year ago today. I was 18 years old at the time. This had me freaking out. I had just made $1,500 from clicking buttons on my mouse with my computer for a couple of days. This was actually insane. And I actually ended up printing this one out. And the next ones that I got were actually $1,500. I got another one that month, November 20th. Then I took a little break, came back, I swapped to the 2000 account, so a bigger account. The first ones were on a 25K, these were on 50Ks. March 21st, I got my third payout. Then a little bit after, April 3rd, I got another payout. Those are all the ones that I have right here, but I've gotten one more since. I've been dealing with some health issues, but I'm back in trading and trading better than ever. Should be getting more soon. Now, the biggest reason I actually got my payout wasn't probably what you imagined, just a strict rule, strategy, everything perfect, and grinding that thing every single day. It was actually just taking the first step. A lot of you guys are probably not taking the first step or hesitant from getting a funded account or just stepping into something that you've never experienced before. The biggest thing for me was, I was like, yo, I'm gonna just do it. And I bought an account with my friend, and somehow from my first funded account, I got my first payout, and that sparked everything else that I've been doing. This is more of like a documentation video for me, but this is gonna be, I'll show you a little bit of technical analysis as well, what I used to do, what I do now. But yeah, I mean, back then I was just doing supply and demand, literally trading off of support and resistance lines pretty much. And I was making profits. I would document it on, it's here on my Instagram actually. I would document weeks. I would be flipping, risking $600 to make $600 with a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And I was having like 60% win rate for weeks on end, until that just started going a little mid. And then I switched over to smart money concepts, pretty much is what I do right now. Let me actually show you what I used to do, and what I do now on the actual charts before anybody gets confused. Back then, how I actually got my first payout and my first couple of payouts was using supply and demand / support and resistance with the 5-minute time frame. So what I actually mean by that is I would go here on the 5-minute. It's already on the 5-minute. I don't actually trade on TradingView. I actually use NinjaTrader, but I'll show you on TradingView right now for the video. So basically, I would look for big wicks. I learned from someone years ago. Big wicks basically act like order blocks in a smaller time frame. When you're looking at them on the 5-minute and look at them on smaller time frames, because technically on a higher time frame, this whole move up right here is a wick, depending on what time frame you're looking at. So for example, I would look at these right here, and then I would actually draw them out as order blocks. This is what I would do, boom, and then I would take entries based off of this. So basically, I would wait for a retest back into this area, and then I would look for longs at the top of it, or at the bottom of it. So let's say I set my entry at the bottom, and then I'm not sure exactly like how big my stop loss would have been back then, but I would do a 1-to-1, and then basically just play off of bounces and rejections from key levels like this on the 5-minute time frame from like pre-market or New York Open. Now I actually trade something a lot more consistent. Let me show you. It's from Smart Money Concepts. I like to call it the unfair value gaps, but it's actually called the inverse fair value gaps, and just using higher time frames in general and understanding the market as a whole when looking for a tiny entry. So down here I have marked out a 4-hour fair value gap. We're delivering off of that. This is just an example trade that I took last week, and I'm going to show you. So once we delivered off of that, at the 10 a.m. time after selling off the entire open session, I was looking to see if I could find a long setup, and it finally presented itself, and I took it, hitting a 1-to-2 RR. Basically, we tapped near this 4-hour fair value gap. We respected this area, pushed up forward, started building bullet structure on the lower time frame. Then here we were nearing possible long setup. We had this 15-minute gap form. We actually inversed it. We had the 15-minute candle close above. I wanted to see us retrace down and get a better setup, more precise for the actual exact entry, and we did. On the way down to the retracement, we got a 1 minute fair value gap bearish. Boom. We actually inversed it, filled it up completely, closed above it, and then broke structure at the same time, giving me a perfect entry right there. I set up my entry on the retest of it, and then set my stops below this low right here because these were way too low and they were below the 15-minute gap. I just wanted mine below the 1 minute gap, and it was this swing low right here. Also been posting recaps of pretty much every single trade I've been taking and why I took it, with a nice checklist along with it. And that's what we're doing on the team with Learn the Markets as well. And again, this isn't really like an informative video as much, but it's just really about taking that first step, what I did, and me just documenting my way back into YouTube. I'm trying to get back into it, so this is just here to stay. And a little bit of what I'm doing right now at 19 years old. I turned 20 in December. This year has been pretty big, my first year of profitability. Hopefully next year, potential 6 figures. We hit that 5-figure mark this year, so we're looking at scaling up the trading numbers pretty big, especially using funded accounts. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video.